What's up, guys? My name is Splattercat, and it's a pleasant day once again here at the Nerd Castle. I'm happy you decided to join me for the next episode of our Expeditions Conquistador playthrough. Did that have enough in it? I couldn't decide. I can't. It's hard to tell whether to keep on rolling or unroll or re-roll and so forth. I'm an old school D&D player, so I have a big problem with re-rolling. But where we had left off, I had apparently forgotten to pass the day, so let's go ahead and camp. I think we were headed back to Santo Domingo because we had finished all of our super sexy tasks out here in the jungle. We had done our tin-hatted duty, and so let's see what we can get people doing here. We'll have some people hunt. There we are, hunters hunt. And there we go, hunters hunt, fingers fing, and so forth. Trevino is injured, so I'll assign myself to heal him. Our guard duty is going to be a little bit weaker tonight because of it. And I think we'll still be alright, though. It's, you guys had told me that there was contextual menu stuff. Oh my god. And so let's go ahead and take care of that. We'll actually have one of our less than proficient people who can't hunt very well take care of it. And so what he'll do is he will go through and make sure... What does that say right there? 1 meat assigned. Ah, okay. And so he's going to repair as much broken equipment as possible, which I guess is... I actually thought you lost equipment permanently, and I was just like, okay and cool with it. But I guess it's completely repairable, so let's do it. And so it looks like we've salvaged 2 pieces of equipment. We lost 6 medicine healing Trevino. We also got 4 medicine from our scavengers, and we got 10 meat from our hunters, so it's a good day. All around, it's a great day. Let's go get some piggy steaks, and that's what we're going to do here. We're going to run over here, and come here, piggy. Yes, all your meats are now our meats, piggies. And we will eat them. We thank you for your bacon. We bow and thank you. If there was one animal we should thank, it's the pig, because the noble pig gives us its bacon every single day. And bacon's amazing, guys. I don't think I've ever met somebody that was like, I hate bacon. I mean, I've met vegans that are like, yeah, I miss bacon. Like that's like the one thing they'll admit that they miss is bacon. They're like, yeah, bacon's pretty amazing. So I'm pretty sure it's just a universal constant that bacon is amazing. Now today we've got a lot of meat left over. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to set some people out to preserve it. Trevino's back, so we're going to put him on guard duty. And then we should be able to hoof it back. Now we got 18 rations. No! Our guards failed to stop wild animals from stealing 50 of our rations. That is painful. That hurts me. It hurts me deeply. Pedro Alvarado runs up to you and requests a moment of your time. Capitan Del Splatter, will you please halt the expedition for a moment? I'd like to investigate some interesting fungi that I and my assistants have found growing on some of the trees we've passed. Penicillin. And so, yeah, whatever. Take a look. And so he says that he's going to go out into the forest, and he noticed that there's numbing properties of the fungi when they ingest them, and it's going to help us treat our injuries and do surgery and so forth. Sure, collect it. And so our expedition goes slowly, we lose some movement points, but we get 20 herbs, which is pretty amazing. It reminds me of a joke. A mushroom walks into a bar. The bartender says, "We don't serve your kind here." He says, "Why not? I'm a fungi." Yeah, I know. That's a pretty whack joke, but in any case, it's a celebratory joke because we just got our movement points back. And so let's go ahead and, God, we have so much meat to cure tonight. I don't even know if we actually have the manpower to cure this much meat. It's going to be pretty impressive if we manage to get all this stuff salted. I think I know where we are now. It's amazing how from this limited field of view you actually get a pretty good feel for where you're at. It's a little strange how the island of Hispaniola grows on you, so everybody's going to be on preservation duty on this one, I think, including Adel. I think he's probably going to be, well, we'll just let the 1 meat go bad. It'll probably be fine. And so we got 24 rations. We found 5 meat on our hunting party, and we got 6 wood, actually. And the 6 wood is exactly what we needed to make some more traps, so I'm pretty happy with that situation. I'm happy that that occurrence occurred and then happened, if I wanted to be completely redundant. The Department of Redundancy Department. And so... the Bureau of Redundancy Department. There we go. I didn't want to use the same word twice, but we're back on the road. We're on the road again, and I'm not going to sing. You guys aren't... nope, not going to do it. I promised myself I would never sing in an LP. And so I suppose I'll have my witch doctor here, or my shaman. I don't know if a witch doctor and a shaman are the same thing. They've got to be like pretty close, right? We'll have him get started on the herbalism. Additionally, we'll throw these guys on the herbalism train because frankly, I don't think they're helping with the hunting party that much anyways. Tinker-wise, we can make ourselves some more barricades, so I'm actually considering doing that. What are our provisions looking like on barricades? We've got... yikes. We've got a bunch of caltrip traps, which I'm not really keen on. We've got enough spike traps to make me happy. Yeah, let's get somebody tinkering away. We'll get somebody tinkering, not stinkering. Stinkering is a completely different crafting skill. In fact, it usually follows suit after you have a lot of cabbage, but stinkering is something that, well, my cat and my dog are pretty good at. But in any case, we'll have... Where's my scholar here? Scholar? Oh, he's working on pickaxe. Never mind. We're just going to leave everybody doing what they're doing. And so we unlocked pickaxe number 1. That means we're going to find a lot more meat while we're running around. We got 20 medicines, 8 wood, and 13 meat for the day. The extra wood is also going to help once again. That was what we were deficient on. We were actually very much lacking in reinforcement for the various structures and gizmos and gadgets, so it's good that we actually got some more there. I think I see Santo Domingo. Yes, I do. Yes, indeed. Beautiful walls. Civilization, such as it is. Beautiful, syphilis-filled sailor civilization. And so here we are, and I think since we've wiped everything out, let's go talk to the, I guess it was the mayor, or the, there we go, the governor. That's what his name was. Governor. The staff leads you to the governor's office, even though you could find your own way at this point. He waits for you to speak. We've confronted Esteban and killed his men, but I was too late to prevent them from killing the troops. De Manzanedo makes a pained grimace, and the brute himself, is he dead? He escaped, Governor. You would not believe if you didn't see it with your own eyes. Oh, you wouldn't believe how. The governor sits down with a sigh, so he eludes us again. Unbelievable. You are not the first to fail, Del Splatter. I wonder if we shall ever stop that man. There is more, Governor. In blatant defiance of common restrictions on human physiognomy, the governor's face falls even lower. I've never even seen that word before. It's got a G in it. That is not cool. You can't put a G right in the middle. That's not all right. In any case, I have also visited Santiago and seen Leandro Vizcaino. It was a trap. She is the leader of the North Coast rebels. Manzanedo's jaw drops. You speak in jest. Capitan Vizcaino leads the rebels? I swear it is the truth. It makes sense in hindsight, but she deceived me. Us. All of us. She had everyone fooled, the treacherous bastardo of a woman. Tell me, Del Splatter, what happened in Santiago? How did you find out? We tell him that he sent us to the peninsula, but there was nothing there, and then we got ambushed on the way back. Her disappearance is a setback, I won't lie, but at least we are not back where we started. Her identity is revealed. What do you think she will do next? What is her goal? I probably think she's going to go on the offensive. Yeah, that seems like a good plan now that she's been found out. It's swing or be swung on, that is. You are right. She must come here and attack me at the seat of my power. We must consolidate our resources before this happens. I will order Noriega to make the necessary preparations. You are free to explore Hispaniola while we wait for Leandra to make her move. We nod, he thanks us, and then we continue. And Captain Noriega stops us in the hall with his just magnificent mustache. Look at that thing. The thing is incredible. One day I'll have a mustache like that, and my life will be complete. I can check it off the old bucket list. Oh, Del Splatter, I've been meaning to talk to you. Umberto and his people have been clearing out the city's guards, old training guard... Wait a minute. I got all hung up. They've been clearing out the guard training grounds outside the city. We're ready to arrange that tournament whenever you're ready. Okay. Let's go ahead and fight. And Noriega grins and continues down the hall towards the governor's office. And so I think this is where the tournament's at. So let's go ahead and look at our supplies first, because I get the feeling we've got some things to trade. We have 19 equipment, which is frankly incredible. I'm just impressed at this point. I'm going to trade some of our treasure for a little bit of equipment, and then I'm also going to trade a little bit of medicine, though not much. I'd like to keep the medicine on hand in case there's wounded. We'll also keep some treasure on hand because I don't really know where we're going from now on. We're kind of rolling stones at this point in the sense that I don't know where the game's going to take us, so I'd like to be well prepared. Let's jump into our character menu. And once we do that, we'll take a look at the equipment that's available. I am going to buff up my ranged people, I think. We've got enough XP, I think, to raise somebody to veteran, which is probably a good plan, to be honest. It's probably something we should do. I don't really know who we should do it to. I don't think our ranged core, like the core of our ranged core, has anybody in it that's actually like super badass, so we'll go with him. And for the things that we can give them, let's go ahead and... I like Fortune Favored. I am a crit junkie. I really like critting, because whenever you get a crit at that right moment, it's just so epic. Ignoring armor might be useful because their attacks are a little bit weaker than we would like. Opportunist is not going to be that amazing with them. Relentless... That actually, the chance of a double attack seems like a good thing to invest in. They also get aim shot, which means they get half the distance penalties. so they can take really, really, really long shots, basically, which could be useful. I could see that running its course in due time. Additionally, we'll probably want to level up a doctor here and there, so I want to take Alvarado, and I think I'm just going to level him up just to see what happens. He's got all the abilities that everybody else would have, but running through here, we can give him different weapons, but I think for now, we'll give him... The sharpshooter would be nice because he's got a ranged attack that is really, really inaccurate. I think, however... Yeah, honestly, anything that makes him better at attacking, because that's always what I feel the support characters... I feel that's what their weakest aspect is of the ranged characters, like the doctors, is if you look, their ranged chance to hit is only 31%, which is just god-awful. As you level them up, that will increase, but unfortunately, they just aren't so good at shooting, and I wish they were, because if you could keep them in the back lines, it would be very nice, but I may be building him completely wrong right now, but we'll see what happens. The other ability that he got was... Can I look? Anywhere? Unfortunately, I wasn't looking when I leveled him, which... is a mistake. They get Cure, which removes all damage over time effects and negative effects from an ally and heals 15 to 20 points of endurance. I think that actually means he can back-to-back heal now. The original heal that he starts with is not so good because it's got a cooldown on it, so he can't just like spam it every single turn. However, as we level him, it may be more and more worth it to bring him along, especially since we're running very melee heavy at the moment. Let's go ahead and equip the Hell. I forgot to give him a little bit of extra pointage here. I think what I'll do... So I'll give him, we'll give him some tinkering, I guess, just in case we need somebody to build barricades. I don't know. This is also going to allow us to give him a snap house, or I don't even know how you say that word. A snap house, a snap house, a snap on key. I don't know. But in any case, it sounds way more badass than wheel lock, and so it sounds like a gun that's got a little bit more style. Additionally, we've got enough equipment laying around where I feel like we can probably give them some armor, but I'm going to check on other people first. She's more or less maxed out. 35% damage reduction is pretty good. Here, yeah, he definitely needs some more damage, and then we'll max out his defense as well, so he's got a 45% damage reduction. Over here, Ortega hasn't been upgraded completely, so we'll do that for him as well. We'll get him smashed out, and then Martinez, who has been woefully left behind. Unfortunately, I've heard that Adel has some pretty good abilities too. What does he get next level? Curse. Makes him have terrible defense. We cast it on an enemy and they have really bad defense. That seems nice. What does he get right there? Terrify. Forces the target unit to flee from the shaman at its full speed. That might be nice. Get a little bit of World of Warcraft warlock kiting going on or something. And then Smoke Bomb, for those of you out there that watch Archer. The Krieger reference. Smoke Bomb. Then just like walk away. But in any case, we will continue equipping the people who tend to work for us most in combat. We'll give Martinez a bit more equipment. And then let's check out this tournament and see what happens here. You find Noriega in his office in the barracks talking to one of his subordinate officers. When you knock on the door, he sends the man away and beckons you in. Are you here to talk about the tournament? Precisely. Excellent. My troops have been looking forward to it. They have high opinions of your people after we won that last training battle. And let's get started. He claps his hands. Great, come with me. We'll go to the tournament grounds and find Umberto together. He can explain the rules. Noriega puts on a coat and leads us out of the back of the fortress, down the staircase facing the beach, and we walk a few minutes into the jungle, ready to fight in a simple arena. It's a rectangular enclosure defined by a rickety fence, and a portion of which is defined by an old brick wall that was once part of the city defenses. The enclosure is more than twice as long as it is wide. And Umberto is at the far end, directing his men, and he lights up when he sees us. There you are, both of you. Are you just about ready to begin? Absolutely. And so, what's the rules? Tell me the rules. And so he says the arena is a little on the small side, and out of respect for the spectators who show up, it's going to be 3 rounds with 3 troops on each side. It should be possible to do all in one day. What restrictions are there? If any of your people can make it through a battle without serious injury, they are free to participate in the next battle as well. However, if you prefer to use a completely different group for each battle, that will be accepted. What about barricades and other helpful items? So can we bring our advantages? You're not. If you bring the necessary materials, you're free to erect any further barricades on your side of the battlefield, in addition to the obstacles provided by my people and I. Other than that, I want to see no fancy native traps, no cunning tricks and lanterns, no artillery. Well, we don't have any Gatling guns or anything of that nature. Anything else, the prize will be 10% of the earnings of all bets made during the tournament, with 1,000 valuables for each battle we win. We're ready. And so let's do it. We gather and prepare our troops. Now we only get 3 guys. I think I'm going to bring Vidal. I think I'm going to bring Trevino because he's completely and totally kitted out at this point. We're definitely going to bring Ortega. And so I'm just a melee guy. Whenever I play D&D or I play any type of video game, I always go like full plate, just badass mode, just soak the damage, don't even try and dodge it, just completely block swords with your face, try and catch them in your teeth, because the ladies like that kind of stuff. And so there we are, we're hiding behind a boat. What does he have? He has a shooter, a scout, okay. So we don't have an amazing advantage here. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to wait. I probably should have put down barricades, but I didn't want to waste them on this. My scout's going to close with him. I can virtually guarantee you we're just going to chew that ranged guy up first because I don't want to get kited. Unless the scout runs up to me, and he did. And so the scout is unfortunately going to have to die first. Sorry, mis amigo. Your life is mine. Muerte. Oh, he's not down yet. Oh no. And so I can eat a attack of opportunity, or I can just kind of... Damn. Well, that's unfortunate. And we missed. And so we're off to a brilliant start already. Me and my terrible maneuvering. I am just an idiot of the highest quality sometimes. Luckily, he doesn't appear to have that much gear, so we should be able to just face tank our way through this. He missed both his shots there, so that's going to help us out in the long run. I'm not going to waste my scout's attack on him, to be honest. The scout is best used just nailing this archer, so that's what we're going to do. We're just going to nail him completely just dirty. And so let's step into range here, just to avoid him stepping forward and taking a swipe at us. And then we'll pass the turn. And so he's going to use our stun on us. Oh, and their scout has a halberd. But it doesn't matter because he's dead now. And so we'll step our scout back, and then we'll move him into range, our halberdier. There we are. And I don't think we're going to kill this guy off on this turn. Oh no, I forgot to swap out the weapon. I am retarded. God, that was just horrific. That was all my bad. And so just like the computer makes mistakes sometimes, I make mistakes too. And I hope that's not going to cost me a casualty. We'll see what happens here. He switched targets, so whatever. And we will give the final honors to Juan Ortega and Veronica Lopez. He just beat up a female. That is unnecessary. He went straight Chris Brown on that one. The crowd cheers for our victory. We talked to Noriega and Umberto, and Umberto's men disassembled the obstacles and set about erecting them in a new configuration. Excellent leadership as always. Very good. Quite. I concur. And so the first of three, there's plenty of opportunity for the Noriega team to make a comeback. And so let's keep an eye on Noriega's men. The next battle will have a cramped terrain. You and your people take turns subtly hanging around within earshot of Noriega's people. It looks like they were saving their barricades for this battle as they're hammering and roping together a large amount of junk. And so we're going to bring the same people to this fight because it worked out well for us in the last place. If they're going to be bringing a lot of barricades, it's only going to restrict them. So why not force them to play by our rules? And now we've got a boat on top of two carts. And this is actually a lot more crowded. I'm going to hang out behind this boat until they close ranks with me, I think. And so it's our turn. I'm just going to pass that outright. Looks like they've got a doctor or a scholar, a archer, and a melee. And so I hate that tree. That tree is very frustrating to me. Why that tree is where it is, I don't know, but it makes me want to punch it in the face. I just want to say, tree, have at thee. I challenge you to fisticuffs at dawn. And so we'll bring this unit forward, I think. Kill? Nope, no kill. Unfortunately. And so we'll see if we can luck out here. Nope, no such luck. And so we'll pass our turn. We're not going to get spiteful about it. We'll just live with the results. He's going to get an attack, obviously. He's going to use his stun, as always. That guy's going to unload with a halberd. What we'll do is we'll stab there. Oh, that was a waste. I used my scout, didn't I? Well, damn. And then we'll step this unit forward, but we're not going to make the same mistake this time. I can virtually guarantee you the doctor's going to come forward, heal him, and then he's going to attack. And that's going to be that. Yep. Knew it. And doctors, I mean, I can justify, you can rectify bringing a doctor. I definitely think they could. Oh, no. I clicked him, not him. Wonky. In any case, let's stun him, and we're gonna have to adapt our strategy a little bit. And so because he's stunned, I can actually step in and take a swipe at the doctor here, and down he goes. And so that worked out in our favor anyways. Even though the clicking was a little inaccurate, I can live with it. And so it's now our turn again, and this is just an ass whooping. Noriega's men are just doing very poorly. I would be embarrassed if these were my homies and I had been like taking my time to train them up and I'd been doing all this crazy stuff and I had shown them my Splattercat Bujitsu and they were just failing miserably. I would just be like, you have dishonored your ancestors. But in any case, the second battle is called in our favor and the crowd is chanting for us now. That can't help. We got home field advantage. They're cheering for us and he's impressed. And everyone's impressed is what he says. And so we've got 1 round left. And I think our venerable audience would feel tremendously let down if they were cheated out of the 3rd battle. Remember, the prize is 1,000 valuables for every round. Of course! I agreed to 3, let's do 3. And so we'll do a hard scouting check. And they scout on them, but unfortunately they're no good at scouting, so they fail. It's going to be 3 on 3 again, and as always, let's bring our guys. I kind of want to bring a ranged guy on this one just to mess around a little bit, because honestly we've made a reasonable amount of money. We've already won. Let's bring the doctor. We'll bring a scout, a warrior, and we'll bring the doctor along. We'll let him get a little bit of glory in. He doesn't get out much. We've got the preparation phase here, and we're not going to do anything. We're just going to, once again, I love letting people just approach my position. I'm not a person that likes to advance. Advancing is very risky. It's a move that you gotta have confidence, and unfortunately, I lack the confidence. I lack the willpower to close with my foe. Oop, and that was an accident too. He was already on his knife. I don't know why he already had knife selected. Usually they start with rifle selected. I really need to take the time out and actually like pay attention sometimes. And so our doctor is probably gonna get beat up in this fight. They're shooting at me from behind the ale barrels. And he's gonna use tactical move to retreat, it looks like. Are we getting baited? God. Either way, we're not going to let him escape. He can't out... Oh, there's a spike trap. What is that? I thought they said no native traps. Oh, that is cheesy. No, 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 no. What? Absolutely not. So they cheated. Little bastards. Oh my god. You gotta be kidding me. They said no traps. Ugh. Both spike traps and caltrip traps I have learned from the natives, and so I could fully tell you that they're cheating right now. I seem to recall him saying no traps there. And so this is dependent on the doctor's rank. We're going to have him heal him. And I guess it's a good thing I brought a doctor along, because with the cheatery that's occurring right now, I feel as though it's a good thing. And so he's going to shoot his shot, take his chances. And that guy's just gonna... What is he doing? He's got some kind of sinister plan. I just don't know what it is yet, and I don't like that. In any case, let's step this guy forward. And we're also gonna have him use his other heal this turn to get our scout patched up yet again. And so there it is, cured of nothing, unfortunately. Cured of his scars and wounds, so it'll work out. And without that, he wouldn't have survived that round, so I'm gonna take it. I accept that. And down goes that foe. We're going to have our fighter close ground with this guy now, and maybe for the kill? Almost. Almost a kill, but we still have a heal left over, so there it is. And part of me feels like this game would have been very conducive to a Final Fantasy Tactics type XP game, to where when you do actions, you get XP. But then again, that system was, you know, remarkably tricky as well, because you could sit around with a battle with like a chocobo and just like have it run off into the corner, and then just sit there healing and like throwing rocks at it. And we fought honorably today, which is much more than I can say about mine. I swear to you, I had no idea my people were planning to cheat by placing traps. Heads will roll tonight, I promise you that. I know you had nothing to do with it. I could make him drag the traitors out. Well fought, both of you. Well fought indeed. I must admit that the little trick with the traps had me concerned. Discipline your troops better. But in the end, it worked out, and it was an exciting competition. Seeing how the contingent won all 3 battles, you have exceedingly clear winner of the tournament. Your prize is 10% of all the earnings on the bets made, and 3,000 valuables, which means we get 3,885 valuables. God, we are just rolling. It's time to go get ourselves like some gold-plated chainmail and some crazy splint mail with like little dragons all over it, and like that crazy stuff you save up for in RPGs. Noriega, poor Noriega, he's being too hard on himself, but he'll get over it. And so he leads us off to a tent where we get some wine and we get drunk. And I think that's probably a good spot to break off this episode, to be honest. So, my name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me here in the Nerd Castle. We didn't get a whole lot done today, but we won a tournament and got a bunch of money. And really, in the quest for glory, I think that's really what counts. We've gained some honor, we've gained some cash, we've had a few laughs, we've had some kills, and so I think it's time to bid adieu. That being said, I'll see you guys next time, and take care out there, everybody.